Hi, I'm Tim Hanna. This is my story.
Vision Radio Network presents My Story.
Well, I was born many years ago in Ireland, so that may explain a few things, but I was came out to Australia when I was 9 with my family. Didn't grow up in a faith family at all, just came out with a new start for my parents and for us as kids. I was the youngest of 5. Grew up in Adelaide, went to, for me as a kid, sport was everything: football, cricket, tennis, basketball. This kind of sport was my God, really, and so that was made up my life. Finished high school, went to university, studied economics, and it was there I met my wife. We met at university. She was doing arts, I was doing economics, and we married very young. I was 20 when we got married, she was 18, so I'm not sure I tell my kids that, but well, they know that, but I tell them not to do the same thing. And then 2 years after we got married, we became Christians in the same week, but at different events, and that changed our lives completely. My strongest memory as a child was not necessarily a happy one, because I had a father who was a very bad alcoholic, and so our whole family tiptoed around my dad, not wanting to upset things, not wanting for him to get, annoyed at us, etc. So it wasn't a really good. I experienced that for many years. My father died when I was 12, and that was quite a traumatic thing for our family. So I'd have to say, early memories, I felt loved, but that love was not expressed affectionately, really, to me. I became a Christian. I can actually remember the date, November the 30th, 1974. It was 2 years after we got married. We got married December 72. And I guess I was one of these people who always thought I was a Christian, because you come from Ireland, you're either Catholic or Protestant. We didn't practice anything, but you're either a Catholic or Protestant, and my family was nominally Protestant. So we kind of believed. My mum would tell us Bible stories, so she was a good living woman, but I wasn't really a Christian, and my wife started looking seriously at Christian faith, or at faith in general. She started first looking at some Eastern religions. She'd come to the stage in her life of realizing that, there's got to be more to life than just what she'd experienced by the age of 20, 2 years after we were married, which was a bit daunting for me, because I thought I had, been the one who had fulfilled her dreams forever, and she started looking and saying there's got to be more than this. So she was working in a library. She's a librarian at that stage, and she was working in a library, and a girl came to work at her library who was a Christian and started just sharing her faith. And one Monday lunchtime, my wife came home and said, "I've given my life to Jesus." And I remember thinking at the time, well, that's great. Now we're both Christians. As I said before, God was my sport, was my God. And so, but I saw the change in her in the very first day, and I thought, if that's what being a Christian is, I'm not it. And so she invited me to a youth rally at her friend's church on the Saturday night, and I decided to go. I wasn't going to go in. I was going to take my wife. I was studying for exams, but I did go in the end, and I haven't a clue what the person said. It was a guest speaker from somewhere. It was a youth rally, and it was a film shown. I haven't a clue what was said. I haven't a clue what the film was, but I remember at the end of it, my wife went out to make her decision public and nudged me as you went past, said, "Are you coming?" Which made me freeze. I just froze up and said, "No way." But a couple of minutes later, I just sensed this is for me. And I went out the front and gave my life to Christ there. And probably for about 6 months, lived with a foot in both camps. I went along with my wife to church, but still wasn't real sure. But 6 months later, in our little local church we started going to at Elizabeth in South Australia, I came on my knees one Sunday and said, "This is it. It's got to be all or nothing." And here I am, God. And sort of was a bit of a journey of that time, but I've regretted nothing of that journey. Hi, I'm Tim Hanna. That was my story.
My Story, captured at Easterfest 2013 by the team at Vision Radio Network.